news or whatever, man. So listen, man, we got, like I say, man, we're gonna have a couple of people stopping by, man. We got let's see, we got us a guest in the house today. All right, let's see what we can do here. We got Jason from Hall of Fame College Football. What's going on, Jason?
What's up? What's up? Good morning, fellas. How's everybody doing?
Hey, man, get breakfast, man. We had breakfast time. Are you a breakfast guy, Jason?
Yeah, I need to do better about eating breakfast, but I got a little breakfast in on the way here. Had to come in. I got a call I'm finishing up on, so I decided to pop in. I was like, man, I'll see if I pop in on Coach's show. What's up, Stat?
Yo, what's up, Jason?
Yeah, man. I'll do a little fruit for breakfast. I can't do a whole bunch, man. I don't know. It's
gotta be a small breakfast for me too. I can't do it much.
It kind of started in high school. It's like Lance is in the my boy Mike in the building. What's going on, Mike? We appreciate you stopping by. What you having for breakfast this morning, Mike? Lance be in the building. We appreciate you, Lance, man. Lance, tell us what you having for breakfast this morning, man. Kind of started in high school playing sports, AAU, you play Saturdays, it's like, and then summertime, you get up in the morning. If you're playing football, you got summer workout. I just couldn't do a whole bunch of breakfast and go out there and feel like running around without throwing up. So I just don't do a whole bunch of breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
It takes one time to be over at the trash can on the basketball court.
Right. Because the coaches don't care nothing about what you have for breakfast. They actually probably out there trying to make you throw up. So it is what it is in the summertime.
Practice can't end in 2 days until you puke.
That's right. Right. Listen, coach of high school basketball at our first stop at Berea High School here in South Carolina, man, we used to keep trash cans at tryouts. So that was the goal. If we could get somebody to throw up during tryouts, that was the goal. Sorry, people, if y'all eating y'all breakfast, my bad. Lance said he having bacon and coffee. Are you a Starbucks nut, Lance, or you got some little mom and pop spot that you go to? I know a lot of coffee people are Starbucks nuts. So good morning, Steve G, man. We appreciate you getting up in here. My boy Mike Mixon said a little Raisin Bran, keeping it gut healthy. I feel you, Mike. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Proud. Hey, listen, man, we getting to that point, man. We some late 90s dolls, though. We gotta watch what we intake. That's why I say I'm having some mandarin oranges and some water, man. So hey, man, on tap today, man, we're going to talk a little bit of Lakers hiring JJ Redick. We're going to talk some college football recruiting. But let's start out by not congratulating the Tennessee Volunteers. Let's get on to Texas A&M. Hey, listen, you got all of college sports Twitter mad, Texas A&M. I want to let you know first thing this morning, you lost the College World Series. Like, what are you doing, man? Like the fan base of the Volunteers. Come on, man. It's like, God, man, every time you try to give Texas A&M a little something, man, it's like, God, they can't do. You had one job. You started out 1-0. All you had to do was win one more game. That's it. Stat. Why couldn't A&M get this thing done, man? You a baseball head, man, so I know you keep up.
Why couldn't they get it done? This is the easiest answer ever.
I will. I don't know if you're superstitious or not, but there's a little spot out in Omaha called Rocco's. They do a Jello shot challenge for the last 4 years. The team that buys the most Jello shots, their team wins the College World Series. And unfortunately for A&M, the writing was on the wall yesterday afternoon, even before the game. Tennessee beat them over the head at the bar. You knew what was coming that night. But man, baseball's a finicky sport. And honestly, once they lost on Sunday, I felt they were cooked. I really didn't think they were going to do something. I know you don't want to give Tennessee any flowers, but yesterday was the first time since 1999 Miami Hurricanes that the number one overall seed in the baseball tournament has won the College World Series. The first time in 25 years that the number one team in the country actually finishes the number one team in the country. Just crazy, crazy stat.
Hey, man, this will be the only time you ever hear it. So congratulations, Tennessee baseball. Let's not confuse that with me congratulating the University of Tennessee all over. This is congratulations to Tennessee baseball. As Jason says all the time, Texas A&M is what we thought they were, and they can't get it done.
It's been 1930-something since they've won a natty in anything.
You stop your lying right now, Jason. That is not. That is crazy. A&M. So we've been on
Aggie,
Tennessee.
bro.
We've been on Tennessee for not winning a natty since 2009 and anything. The Aggie land, bruh. So you mean to tell me Aggie land ain't won nothing since like back in whoever goes? Jesus Christ. Shout out to my guy Shawty, man. Just my damn opinion. He said your boy a soldier, no breakfast, only 2 million meals a day. That's how he keep his figure. Listen, man. Shawty might still be in that listen, he might be in that high 11 second range on the 100. This might be how he still do it. Shawty football and track guy from Georgia, man. Shout out to Shawty with you at the intermittent fasting. My boy Lance B says, I usually do either Dunkin' or racetrack. All right, Starbucks freaks, don't get on my guy Lance B for hitting Dunkin' or racetrack. And man, like he said,
superior though.
Just made something at home since he didn't feel like leaving. Listen, that's the best way. It's hot out there. For those who are out and about, man, listen, be careful. The heat is not playing games this year. I don't know what's going on, but you know what I'm saying? We went to the beach a couple weeks ago, man, and your boy got a little sunburn because I ain't put no what you call it on. I know it's crazy, right? I get like my skin get too hot in the sun, and like just get little red bumps on it or whatever. So Chicken is in the building. What's going on, Chicken? We appreciate you getting in, my guy. Shelby's sharpshooter say they won women's basketball, and they won a women's basketball natty.
Okay, well, I think men's sports is what it was saying. I'm sure it was they were talking about. It's literally been the 30s since they've done anything. So,
hey man, look, I just need y'all to know we got to count women's sports around these parts, or South Carolina would be in trouble outside of our 2 baseball titles.
There you go. That's right.
Oh, sticking with the baseball, man. The Braves are currently 8-3 in the last 11. They play the Cardinals tonight. Our resident Braves guy is the stat guy, and we repping this morning, man. What is it? 715 in the A, man. Listen, stat guy, what's going on with the Braves this year, man?
Man, injuries. That injury bug hurts when you lose your starting catcher on opening day for the next 49 games. Ronald obviously is out for the year again with another torn ACL. Your ace Spencer Strider's out for the year getting Tommy Johns. I mean, the injury bug will get you. They're playing better of late. They've cut into the Phillies lead. They're only down 7 games now. It was 11 or 12 2.5 weeks ago. So they are starting to turn it around. But it's almost like they just haven't gotten into a groove together. But the pitching's been doing good. The offense just hasn't clicked at all yet this year.
I got you. Jason, you're a huge baseball fan?
I like baseball. I'm not a big college baseball fan so much, but
I got you.
But I like baseball. I was actually going in here to look and check on all this. So they've got a men's golf championship from 2009. All
right.
They've got
this is A&M people. That's who we're
this is all A&M stuff. And this is, I mean, their 3 football titles their last one came in 1939. Their first one was 1919, then 1927. They've got 5 men's track and field championships. They're all recent from 2009 to 2017. But I think real team sport wise, I think is what I must have been reading on Twitter, because men's golf, 2009. I mean, but it's not like you're playing the game together really. You know, it's kind of individual sports, and that's how I feel about track as well, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I guess you have a track team, but it's still, so.
Okay.
Their football, nothing. Baseball, never. The women's basketball in 2011 is like the one thing that you've done recently. You know, 87 was their last softball national title, I guess. I didn't even know they had done that, but as far as women are concerned. But the men struggle there.
So it looked like the women of Texas A&M. Shout out to the women Aggies for holding it down for Texas A&M in the natty front. Kind of listen, man. I guess it's something about that burgundy and maroon colors. The women's sports just hold you down, man. Kind of like South Carolina. Guy, Coach Ricks, what's going on, my guy? He says protein shakes for breakfast, 1 meal for the rest of the day. Listen, man, y'all trying to stay in shape. Coach Ricks and Shouting got it for you, man. Basically 2 meals a day, man. So, man. Speaking of
shakes. I need to get back on that, man.
of the hardball, man. Shout out to Oklahoma Sooners women's the softball team. They're 4-peat, man. They're like the gold standard in softball. I don't even know how anybody can beat them. We got a question from Shouty, man, for you, stat guy. He says, how do you think the early contract extensions affect the Braves with the recent injuries? Looking smart or bad business?
I mean, it's good. Honestly, it's good business. When you pay Ronald Acuna 10 years, $100 million, he's already got an MVP, and it's probably shown to be worth every bit of that, even with losing him for 2 different years because of the ACL. He would have hit the open market coming off of the MVP season last year if we hadn't have signed him early, and would have probably garnered a $400 million contract. So he took a pay cut, but it worked out for him because he's been hurt. The Braves got him for cheap, worked out for them. They've won a World Series. He won an MVP. So it's kind of a little bit of both. It really depends on the players, but baseball is such a finicky sport, man, and injury can wipe your career out. That shelf life is short. You got to strike when the iron's hot, even if it ain't top dollar.
Shout out to Jen Kane. What's going on? What's going on? We appreciate you stopping by. Zach Reynolds at work in Nashville this morning. Balls out here dancing on Aggie grapes. Listen, man. Listen, I don't know if you're a Vols fan or not, but I guess I can congratulate the baseball team. I don't know. That hurts. That hurts even saying it. So my guy might say Dunkin' is better than Starbucks, by the way. So listen, I didn't say it. My guy Mike said it. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is better than Starbucks. But the human bean coffee, if you're ever in Atlanta, try the human bean coffee. If you're a coffee fanatic, just shout out to human bean coffee. All right, Lee. What's going on? Lee said, don't forget about the 6-time women's gymnastics championships too, Stephen G. Okay. Is that the A&M? A&M got 6 women's championships? Is that who we talking about? You know, Georgia, hey, man, we used to be, when we was in school anyway, we didn't know nothing about losing in the gymnastics, dog. Susan Yacklin had that thing rolling, you know what I'm saying? So let's see. Shout out to all the people in the comments, man. Coach, he says, did Texas A&M win the All G? What is that? Oh, man. Okay. We're going to leave that one. That's right. That's right. Bishop Frank said, wipe your feet when you come in, man. Y'all hit that like button, man. It helps the content get out to everybody, man, so they can join the family, man. We want to start us a little community here, man. Community breakfast, like, you know what I'm saying? Says, nah, that's us Sooners. Oh, the Oklahoma gym. Okay, I got you. Yeah, hey, I was about to say, I don't remember. Listen, man, I stopped keeping up with it when the Dogs stopped winning. You know, I think we won like 6 out of 9 or something back in the early late 90s, 2000, whatever. I stopped keeping up with it when Susan Yacklin stepped down. I got you. Shelby says, so basically A&M should get rid of men's sport. I mean, if they just want to talk natties, you know what I'm saying?
They're better at cheerleading, I think. So yeah.
I was gonna say, look, that Texas A&M deserves that for not having cheerleaders. They got their little cheer squad or whatever. Give us some real Southern cheerleaders, and maybe you can win some men's sports.
Big facts, man. Listen, man, moving on, man. Listen, listen. If you're a sports fan, one of the biggest headlines is the Lakers hire JJ Redick, and he did not disappoint in his opening interview. His opening media interview, dog. The dude dropped 2 F-bombs. He said they was asking him about question. Listen, leave it. Jason knows. Leave it to the beat writers to spark a response, right? He Pretty said they was asking him about people doubting the hire and questioning the hire, and at the end of his response, he said, "I really don't have an answer for you. I really don't give a F." Just like that. National TV. Let's do it. And then he dropped the F-bomb later on. He said he just want to coach the Lakers and just want to be a great coach and F and win. I was like, listen, man, I grew up a Duke fan.
So, I'm not really a Duke fan, but I got love for him for doing that. Screw it.
Why not, right? It's like the pressure's already on. What you think about that, stat guy? JJ Redick. Listen, before we get started, look. Why did FS1 do this, dog? This was on FS1? They put volunteer 4th grade bat boy as head coach. That's tough right there, dog.
Great trolling.
Tough. That is tough, my guy. Yeah, no. What you think about the hire and what he did in his opening presence? That
So I guess my question to you is, do we believe him? Because in his press conference, he said him and LeBron didn't talk until after he had gotten the job offer, and that LeBron didn't go to bat for him to help him get the job. Do you believe he didn't look out for his podcast counterpart and try to hook JJ up?
I mean, it's just too coincidental. You know what I'm saying? They start a podcast, 5 episodes, 6 episodes in. Listen, if you listen to the podcast, the LeBron and JJ podcast, which JJ said they won't be doing anymore, of course. They both, I mean, we already knew LeBron basketball IQ was through the roof, and I knew JJ Redick was, but maybe America didn't. But if you listen to the podcast, the dude definitely knows X's and O's. Does that make him a good coach? I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I mean, I think he should have the locker room a little bit more since he just had, some recent experience, things of that nature. Lance B says Redick is LeBron's puppet. Stephen G says horrible hire. Says he's just a scapegoat. What are you thinking, Jason?
I don't know, man. I think that the NBA is different. You know what I mean? It feels like to me you don't. Look they did the same thing with Jason Kidd. He got done playing. He went straight to coaching. Chauncey Billups had never coached before he got the job that he's got. So, I mean, I don't know if he has which I don't know. Now, here's the thing. Does he have the locker room that they're going to listen to him? I don't think LeBron listens to anybody anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered if they got Mark Jackson or anybody. Now, I do think it's weird that Mark Jackson hasn't been hired again since he did everything that he did.
I think so. I think that's definitely, and Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell's been an
assistant. With Sam. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now I watched 7th in Brooklyn, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Carmelo and his guy. And Carmelo was saying that him and LeBron real good friends. He said LeBron will give anybody a chance to really coach him like at the beginning, but once he realizes you can't keep up mentally, he kind of checks out. And I think that's what's been happening to his coaches. Now, again, we saw on the podcast, X's and O's, JJ Redick can keep up. But what happens the first time LeBron doesn't, wants you to call a timeout? I think that's what did old boy Ham in. Yeah, he didn't call the timeout when LeBron wanted him to call the timeout. What happens that first time?
Alpha male though, dude, he didn't care about LeBron being in charge. I mean, but that was probably to his own downfall. But
right. So sorry to say, I don't know if JJ personality gonna work. He gets a bit sassy. Not sassy. That's the word. That's the word of the the new millennium in it for the guys. I don't doubt his basketball knowledge, but the NBA is more about dealing with egos. That's what I want to know. I want to see how JJ Redick deals with other people's egos. Obviously, even from the opening interview, you see like JJ Redick is who he is. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come out. That's just what it is. It's like, so if a player look at Shelby getting on you, it's like sassy. But if a player comes at JJ, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be some heads bumping at the beginning. And we'll see. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna win a championship regardless of who.
It feels like that teammate that like never shut up. That you know which one I'm talking about.
Right.
Always picking fights and like you just didn't really. He could play, but you'd be like, dude, always with you. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not a big JJ fan, but I actually like him on television. But I don't know. I don't know what this means.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is LeBron is still going to opt out this year, and they don't even know if he's coming back to the Lakers. So there's
reportedly there's a deal for a max deal for 160 for 3 years. That's reported. I don't know if it's factual.
So I mean, maybe he comes back, but if he opts out and then doesn't come back, this team it's not a good basketball team. I like JJ. I think he'll do all right. I actually think he'll have a really good coaching career if he's given a fair shake at it and can stick with it. Just because of his basketball IQ. I think that helps deal with those egos. is when you can stick with them on an IQ level of basketball, you can kind of put them in their place or kind of keep
Check
from getting a little. Yeah, you can kind of check them a little bit.
Different too, and the thing about him too, I kind of agree with you on that too. Is that he's got enough skin on the wall that he's played long enough. He was in the league. He was a good player, and obviously in college, but he never was that dude that just sat on the damn bench. You know what I mean? He was always going to play. And so to me, and you know, having been coached by Coach K and, you know, everything else, I don't know why you wouldn't give him some level of respect if you're a young player, though. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the young players for sure. I think it's like I don't know. Maybe I don't know what his relationship with
anybody. I don't think he respects anyone. I think he's in his team. He doesn't give a shit.
And if I'm not mistaken, he played. Well, no, he didn't play with AD. I thought he played in New Orleans, but I think AD might have already been gone because I know he played with Zion for a little bit. So, like people like, you know, with the status of like AD, I know AD listens to LeBron, but like, and I'm not saying he won't listen to JJ, but if it comes down to like disagreement or whatever, I'm interested in that. Stephen G said he might as well sign and trade LeBron and then trade AD and rebuild. That's the problem. I think the Lakers, they want to win every year. They don't want to rebuild per se. You know what I'm saying?
Especially coming off a Celtics championship.
Oh, right. Shout out to Mars Jam, man. We appreciate you getting in this morning, man. So he did. Stephen G said he played because Stephen G, if I'm not mistaken, the Pelicans, your team, right? It's Stephen G's.
He's probably a Thunder fan.
Thunder fan. I got you. But he does like basketball. I do remember that. He said he played one season with AD. Okay, so that might help out. I don't think it's a great hire. But I think they could have did worse. Let's just say that. At least when the Miami Heat hired Spoelstra, he had been a assistant coach, scout, scout personnel director for 7 years. He hadn't ever been in like, you know, X's and O's, but you know, he was on the staff. You hit it. It's like the Jason Kidd, and I think that's why they kind of might have pushed him over the edge to take JJ because they like, well, Jason Kidd didn't have no experience, and you know. It took him a while, but he at least made it to the conference. I mean, made to the finals. You know what I'm saying?
Stephen G's a high school basketball coach.
Hey man, shout out to Stephen G, a high school basketball coach.
This is the first time I knew that, man. It's good to know. I like
repping the fraternity of high school basketball coaches, where me and Stat come from. We appreciate you, Stephen G.
I like
but you know, the other thing too is if somebody wants to try their luck or whatever, or try to check JJ, shit, roll the ball out there and shoot for that dough. Hey, bro, I tell you what, we
challenge him. Yeah, he's like, all right.
We shoot 10 threes. You win. We'll do what you want to do. I win.
Right.
You run the damn play.
Good luck with that.
Hey, just run the play. Because one thing we do know is JJ Redick can shoot that thing, man. Hey, man, listen, take the time to shout out everybody on the Fanatics sports stream, man. Also on the Hall of Fame college football stream, man. We appreciate all y'all stopping by this morning. Breakfast tailgate with Coach I, initial episode, man. Listen, if you want to support the show, man, first off, hit the thumbs up on both channels. That helps that algorithm, man, push the show out even after the show finishes live to go to more people, man, so they can join in on the community. Also, man, if you want to support the show, hey, man, right there, buy me a coffee. You know what I'm saying? You can buy a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/fanatic sports, man. Buy your boy a coffee, man. Have some breakfast with us, man. We appreciate y'all jumping in. Hey, listen, man, man, we talk about all sports all around, but y'all already know what's driving the thing that right now is college football. It is what it is, man. And one of the things is, listen, college football recruiting. I want to get to, I hope he's still in here. He was on your channel. It's Hexed, Jason, on your channel. He says he's a Colorado fan. He says that I know they're not too important right now, but how bad do you think USC recruiting gets if CU flips JuJu? Now, what I will say to this is, my take on this first is that would be huge. But second of all, I think he is going to flip. I think he's going to flip to Auburn, though. I don't know. I know he just had a really good visit to Colorado, but either school, I don't know what's going on in Southern Cal. I pay attention to, if y'all actually want to get the lowdown on a lot of Southern Cal content football-wise, go check out USCJ32 on
Yes.
Twitter or USCJ32 on YouTube. It's one of our guys, man. He's in the know, in touch with some of the, like, he has like a group text with like the players' parents and things of that nature. According to USCJ, the USC recruiting woes is the collective making a whole bunch of promises that they cannot keep. That's according to USCJ.
Do you believe that though?
Listen, I can tell you right now, I think it is true on some.
I'm not saying
some
I don't
aspects.
believe USCJ. I believe that USCJ has been told that. I don't believe that that's the case.
I don't know. I'm not saying that's the total case, but I think that's some of it. But the only reason why I say that is because Bear hit the portal. You know why Bear hit the portal? I do know that Bear's lease renewal, apartment lease renewal for that grand, apartment, condo, whatever, he took pictures of, whatever. Lease renewal's coming up, and I don't know if all the money was there. So they had to re-up some money. So that's why I'm saying that I think, that it could be some of the case. I don't know how it works when you go on campus for a visit, when I know the head coach talks about NIL, but as far as promises being made, I don't know I know at Georgia, Kirby ain't out here making no promises to nobody. You know what I'm saying? He tell you gonna get some NIL, but you got to get here first. You know what I'm saying? So Stat, what you thinking? They got the funny money out there in Southern Cal?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. I think the NIL is, we all want it to be what it's supposed to be. You go and get your Bojangles commercial or whatever the case may be, and that's your NIL money for your name, image, and likeness. Obviously, that's not what it is, but I think too many schools are biting off more than they can chew, or these players, I'm not going to say they're being lied to, just being misinformed. So, like, if you say, oh, Stat, I'm going to throw you in this 3-bedroom apartment, if that's in my name, I got to pay. That's all on me. And so you talking about 18, 19-year-old kids, man, they don't know, you throwing them to the wolves. And now if the money's late, or maybe they didn't realize they had to pay for it, and that was part of the money they're getting is to pay for that. Now they've spent the money or whatever. Their handler has the money. Now especially you talking about out in LA, that apartment or whatever condo, man, that thing's probably like $6,000 a month or better. Ain't no telling. So it's I don't know. I just think the kids are being misinformed. I think the NCAA, that's the thing they need to do, is get a better handle on working. And a former player said it too, is they need to be having part of the team should be having to go to finance class together for all these kids getting all this money. They need to understand that, because I'm sure all three of us, when we were in school, we were taking some sort of finance class. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you were learning simple baking stuff, and they don't even teach money now in school.
Right. So, Jason, I know you got a different take on it. You got an affinity to hate Lincoln Riley. So,
well, I don't like Lincoln Riley, but I don't think that has a whole lot to do with what's on with JuJu. Oh, except for the fact that it is pretty telling that, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's had 3 Heisman Trophy winners that he's coached that went number 1, and you're losing quarterbacks now. It's one thing to lose 5-star defensive linemen. Right. If you're Lincoln losing quarterbacks, this is a problem.
I think you just hit it. Shout out to Coach Ricks, man, on the Hall of Fame College Football Network. Shout out for the super chat. It says no one is talking about California taxes. That's another thing. That kind of goes to Stat Guy's point. You know what I'm saying? But Jason, to your point, you're right. If he's had some decommits. Now, he hasn't lost JuJu as of yet, but the college football world is expecting him to lose JuJu at some point before signing
made
day.
Some comments that makes it pretty sound like it's almost definitely going to happen too. So
right, for a guy who's never had a good defense, whether it be at OU or at USC, losing a defensive recruit, especially to some of the schools that he's losing them to, who are defensive schools, that's not as shocking as it is, hey, poking the bear type deal. But when you had 2 Heisman winning dudes and 3 overall number 1 draft pick type guys, and you took Jalen Hurts, and made him, I would say, made him a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Than his athleticism that he displayed at Alabama. It took him to turn him into more of a pro style, I would say, quarterback or whatever. And then you lose a quarterback like a JuJu. I think that was kind of telling, like when he first went to USC though. What was the guy?
Well, they paid
Malachi. Didn't have the top
Malachi
5-star
Nelson.
Malachi Nelson transferred out. I thought that was weird.
Now, so it's that's. I mean, you go from USC to Boise State, and then I think that had to do with the fact that they were probably going to start Miller Moss, and they were talking about bringing in the kid from UNLV also. But I really think that I don't know, man. I think there's definitely an issue. I don't know that it's NIL, although because here's the reason I say that. First off, there's different folks that are hearing different things, but the reason that I say that is they owe the dude. If he makes it through the year, they would still owe him $80 million. You're really going to tell me that they're going to pay this man that kind of money and they're going to sabotage his ability to compete?
Yeah, man, they don't make a lot of sense, man. Shout out to Bishop Frank, man, with the super chat, man. He says,
I mean, he
said they taxing water out there in Cali. He ain't talking about bottled water.
He ain't wrong.
That is a good point, Jason. It's like you pay a guy a lot of money, like come on, man. We all saw the deal that USC gave Lincoln Riley, and then like to not aid him, whether more like sabotage, but not to aid him, dog. Like that's crazy, bro. Bumbo, what's going good, man? He says if Miller Moss looks like an NFL quarterback this year, JuJu come crawling back. That could be the case. And again, y'all haven't lost JuJu yet. This is all, in the rumor mill and things of that nature, but the rumor mill is getting close to being, fruition. It's getting crazy out here. Lee, what's going on, my man? He said USC had better hope they did enough to bulk up that O-line, D-line because of the style of football being played. Listen.
They didn't get anybody. They lost the people that they brought in the early portal.
This is a good point. Big Ten plays that physical style of football in the trenches, and you got to beef up. I mean, listen, Oregon, Dan Lannon already knew that, so Oregon's already ready for it. I'm interested to see that with Washington. Washington had a good O-line last year, but I don't know about that D-line, if they're ready for that kind of – I mean, because when you look at like teams like Minnesota, they may not be good like as in the national picture, but they're good 7-8 win teams, and they're going to beat you up in them trenches too. So
big boys from that area that are, they got a lot of weight on them. They're big, Viking kind of dudes, man.
Right.
And they like that cold weather. That's what I think is going to hurt SC and UCLA, and I mean, I think it's going to hurt all of them. Is that travel and having to deal with that cold weather? And I also think, look, I'm going to say this, and this is the last time I'm going to say it on this, but I think that when you're trying to dump the LSU game, and then you dump a series, you're trying to recruit SEC kids that grow up in SEC country, and then you're canceling SEC games for your program. This is not conducive for getting those kids.
If for nothing else, kids can see that as, hey man, that's the one game that my uncle my parents might be able to come here, because of my NIL or whatever. But they're like, man, my homeboy that I played school with, he can't come all the way out here to USC. He was gonna come to this game or that game or something like that. So that's definitely not a good look
for Justice Terry. That's a long trip for his family, man.
Big facts. Big facts. Shawty say if you get to a place and the situation is not right, you gotta leave. Hey,
Ole Miss was not mutual. Y'all gotta quit saying that, Big Bumbo.
The SEC site says that it was on USC, but hey,
it was the SEC. The Ole Miss AD was quoted. He's the one that talked about it, that they canceled it. It was not mutual.
Bumbo thinks he's a USC fan. He thinks JuJu is gone at this point. So, hey, it is what it is, dog.
I'm kind of in that boat, and it's not so much. I think Lincoln probably wants to try to hold him, but you're going up against Dion, who is obviously a hot name right now, and Hugh Freeze. We all know what Hugh Freeze is capable of on that recruiting trail, and now it's legal. Man, that ain't a good sight.
Right. My boy Mike says these kids really need to learn California taxes. Depending on the NIL agreement, they could be treated as independent contractors. Away games in California should be a tax implication. Hey, and this is correct. And I think that's what's missed in a lot of this recruiting and this NIL talk is what these kids have to do. I saw a kid post the other day say that, you know, it's close to the channel, man. He said the NIL ain't booming like you need to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but it'll come around for some of these guys. But the thing is, though, it's a lot that goes along with this kind of money. I'm not saying now every recruit ain't out here making the Caleb Williams type money or the Arch Manning type money. I mean, I think like at Georgia, I would think Carson Beck and Malachi probably making the most type deal. Everybody ain't making that, but still stuff that it's more than we were getting when we were in college, right? So
yeah.
So let me touch on
living out there though for sure. What's up there, T Boomer? Yeah,
what's going on, T Boomer? Appreciate you getting in this morning. Hey man, appreciate everybody for getting in, man. Listen, the views are going up. Let's hit the like button, man. Y'all hit the like button for your boy if you can. Listen, it's free to do. It helps the channel. What you saying, Stat?
I was gonna say, let me jump on that last comment too about the tax implications in California. So in all the professional sports, you're paid from every state that you play in. So even if you're an Atlanta Brave, when you go out to play the Dodgers in LA, you get paid because that's where you are. But in college, because this is NIL and it's not paid for play, it is purely whatever state, county, city that you're in. So those California schools are kind of at a disadvantage because even though they're leaving to come to the Big Ten or whatever, to some states that may have better tax, income tax deals, because it's not actually pay to play and it's all NIL, they're stuck like Chuck.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, Mike May, man, me and Mike went to Georgia together. I think Mike was a finance major, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's just a little stuff that they don't tell these kids, man. And I think some of these kids are starting to catch on. You know, I know we all like, hey, NILs. I'm not one of these people, but it's a lot of sentiment that NILs ruin the game. Listen, man, these kids should have got paid.
By the adults, not the kids.
Right. It ain't right. Right. Listen, man, I got Shawty, man. Shawty played and, you know, he playing an NCAA game with himself, with his, you know what I'm saying, with his jersey and image and likeness and stuff and wasn't getting nothing for that. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's like Jason said, it's the adults that's ruining it, man. But I mean, that's just the bad part of recruiting as far as what Lincoln is. Listen, another team that's losing a lot of recruiting. Ole Miss lost 3 recruits yesterday alone.
Yep, they did.
I don't know what's going on down there. That is computer science. That is right. Professionals payroll software tax rules are wild now after quarter. Hey man, the tax rules, and Uncle Sam gonna get his. So, sure. But yeah, Ole Miss lost 3 recruits yesterday, dog. Like I don't know if that's a sign of what's going on in Ole Miss because they hit the transfer portal super hard. They got a lot of good players too out of the transfer portal, but the transfer portal can affect high school recruiting. I mean, if you're not a top 4-star, 5-star, or some 3-star that's already been in with some programs, listen, man, this portal could take away some scholarships. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
No doubt. Well, the kids that, if you're not that high 4 or a 4-star, 5-star guy, you're not as in demand because that you are seeing a lot of players that aren't going to Division I schools right off the bat. They're having to go somewhere else, right?
Roger Dodger said, "Don't worry, offshore."
Call him about my taxes.
Oh Lord.
Dodger, drop your number in there.
Come on, man. We don't need the kids learning about that.
Hey, kid, recruits do not contact Roger Dodger. We do not want y'all going to jail for tax evasion or fraud or whatever.
He's just trying, man. Damn.
But you know, so somewhere like Ole Miss that recruits pretty well. I mean, Ole Miss usually top 20 in recruiting or so. They recruit pretty well, and they hit the portal hard. Some of these filler guys in those recruiting classes, low 4 stars, 3 stars, or whatever, that traditionally are program depth guys, you don't have the scholarships for them anymore because you're going to try to get better and better and better. And so it is interesting to see how many people are hitting the portal and how long is this sustainable to keep a team together.
Well, they were talking about it at the SEC meetings as well, that it looks like they're gonna get rid of the scholarships as far as you can have however many scholarships, but they're gonna cut back on roster spots. It sounds like. So
because when is the deal start next year? The deal starts next year where they have to.
So yeah, like 2025 is supposedly when they're going to be doing the pay for play.
Right.
The thing is though, I saw BV said this right off. He's like, man, we're going to play more games with less players. So you start thinking about depth and stuff. But this is the thing that you're running into. A lot of this is now that it is a professional sport, because it's turning into a professional sport. When money gets involved like that, they're going to cut corners in places where, they're just going to do it.
Right.
And right now they're at 22% or whatever on the rev share, right?
Mm-hmm.
That leaves a lot of room for negotiating later. You know what I mean? That's to me, they're going to be going after more. And the more that the players get, the less stability, I guess, you got of being there. But I don't, not to say, I think Shawty's right with what he said. It's not like some of these guys aren't getting processed anyways. Like, it's not just them jumping in the portal.
But that happened. Yeah, that's been going on. That's been going on forever. Shout out to Coach Ricks with the super chat, man. That's why Oklahoma Soul Mission is so important. They have tax advisors sit down with these gentlemen to discuss their future. Yeah, some of the better programs that handling NIL are doing this kind of stuff. Education is key. And you're right. People also like Shawty's always telling us, and this didn't just start. This has always been like this. People also have to remember, kids hit the portal not always because they want to, but sometimes they leave because they have no choice. Like even when Shawty played, back in the day, scholarships, they say, hey man, I'm gonna be here for the next 3 to 4 years. Yeah, if the school wants you technically, because they have an exit interview every single year after the season. And then the coaches and the players sit down and talk about whether or not the coach is going to keep you or and sometimes they may not tell you, hey, you got to leave, but they'll say, hey, you can stay, but you're probably not going to play, which is another way of saying you might want to find another school. You know what I'm saying? So
it happens everywhere.
Right.
And right now you got to win football games. And if they're not playing, and that's the thing, coach is cool on kids for any number of reasons why they may, what I mean? Just like, and it's easy for us to say, these kids are greedy and this and that. And the truth of it is this is a small percentage of guys that are even sought after in that portal. If you noticed over the last few years, you were having 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 kids go in, and maybe 30-40% at the very most were coming out.
Right.
So it's definitely a decision that you need to. I'm glad that they are allowing them to have representation and stuff like that, because that's important.
Big facts.
Be able to have representation and have somebody to give you, but I also worry that none of these guys are necessarily registered agents and stuff like that. Like in the NFL, you have a list of people that can be an agent. It's not really like that. It could just be your uncle that don't know shit.
Big facts. Listen, man, we appreciate everybody getting in, man. It's up to 50. Listen, man, I think I got like over 50, 60 viewers, man, on just YouTube. Not talking Twitter or Facebook, man. Y'all hit that like button. We appreciate every one of you. I got Stat Guy. Got to get out of here. Stat, we'll see you in the comments tonight. Respect the hedges at 8 p.m.
Yes, sir. Peace, fellas. Have a good one.
All right.
Respect the hedges.
That's right, man. T Boomer says if the team is full of transfer portal kids, who's going to know the history of the program? The fans. I don't know. They're just the fans, T. That's about all we can get. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Anthony for getting in here. It says if it's going like I think it's going with the NFL, where eventually they're going to use the United Football League and 2 arena leagues as development system. That's interesting. So okay, and
it's kind of already their development systems. I mean, your goal is to get to the NFL. I mean, the CFL is kind of a development system too.
Right. So it says here, is it possible that somebody's elite high school talent go to these leagues as well to develop instead of going to college. I don't know if we'll ever see that. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not like ever, but I don't think it's going that way because I don't know if their bodies are ready. Because they're still gonna be grown men that that got cut from NFL teams in some of these leagues and things of that nature, and that's one of the biggest reasons why high schoolers don't go straight to the NFL. I know they look like they're ready for the NFL, but their bodies still rarely. Listen, their bodies still have to do a little bit of maturing, unless you're like a Jadeveon Clowney.
That's exactly what that's for, though. That's what that rule's for, is because they're not ready for that. Right. There's a difference. You need to get in that college weight room and strength and conditioning program.
Right. And I think eventually, the first time I was on your show, Jason, we talked about like these super conferences and stuff. I think eventually they're gonna break off on their own, and it's gonna be like two big conferences or whatever. But I still think they'll have like a whatever they name it, G5, D2. I don't know how they'll name it, but I think it'll be like two super conferences of about 64 teams, and then everybody else will be in a different level.
Maybe I think so. I think if you were to get rid of the G5 out of this playoff system, because I think you need to do that.
I think they need their own. I think they need their own.
And I think that I liked some of the ideas that I've heard about. That the G5 champion, you have a relegation deal from the some of these conferences, so because you have programs like Vandy, and not to talk trash about Vandy, but even in the Big Ten, you got Northwestern and Illinois and all these. Not Illinois has been better lately, but Indiana. So many of these programs that don't do anything ever, and here we are paying you. Now we've been hearing people say this too, that Fox for sure, and I don't know about what ESPN's saying to the SEC, but it sounds about right that they're like, look, you're getting $100 million. We need you to take your hiring more serious and and do better in NIL or everything else to get players, because if you're just going to linger around on the bottom of this total poll every year, there's going to come a point where you could get kicked out of the conference. I think I don't necessarily disagree with that, because you do have programs in other conferences that the fact is they're never going to get out there because they're not a huge brand, but they're pretty competitive.
Right. Right.
And so
it's just crazy the way a lot of this stuff's going. I'm like Shawty, like we talking about. Listen, as a parent, he's like, I'm not letting you. I'm letting Aaron Donald or Roquan Smith tackle my 18, 19-year-old. Listen, no, I'm like, boy, you better go to one of these G5 schools first. Or something, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stink Ass Cat, man. He said, "Don't trash Vandy. They're going to beat Texas this year." Listen, man, me and Stat Guy was talking the other day. Listen, all SEC fans know, well, at least we say, we appreciate Vandy, man. Vandy's in the conference for the academics, but we was like, what if
have to be a loser, right? You have to have some teams to lose.
But this is what we talked about, Jason. What if it did go to like two super conferences and then the bottoms were left out, right? And look, Shelby said it. Shelby knows we need Vandy for the GPA. So in the SEC, we say Vandy's there we're just there for the grades, you know what I'm saying? But we was like, if it went that way, and let's say Vandy and Duke and Stanford and Northwestern had to join the Ivy Leagues, they'd be like, hey man, Vandy's just here for the sports.
You ain't even wrong. You're not even wrong.
Because while they are, like I say, the academic standard,
they're on another level in the SEC. But in the Ivy League, they'd be like, "Who the hell are these bumpkins?"
You'd be like, "Why is like the Ivy Leagues would be?" They'd be complaining about Vandy being in the conference. They say, "Hey man, we accept Vandy, man." They just
like Stanford was acting about all the Big 12 schools and stuff. Like,
right. What's going on, Talking Sauce? My guy Clark Lee, listen, man, it is what it is. So, Shawty said yesterday's prices are not tomorrow's prices. They will always want more money, so teams will continue to squeeze it out. That's true. For more TV money, and only two-man conferences will matter. That is correct. I think it's moving that way. Again, I said this 2 years ago on Jason's show, man, and they kind of tried to come at me because I told them
they did, but
listen, because I told them, I was like, once OU and Texas leaves, I'm not saying the Big 12 won't have some good teams. I'm just saying national media relevance. It's just OU and Texas are gone. So they like, why do we care about the Big 12? You know, overall.
And I think that, and if you don't, let's say that Coach Prime doesn't get in there and build a winner, which I mean, you know, the jury's out at this point. I think that they could. I think they're going to compete. I don't think they're going to compete for the championship this year in the Big 12. But I mean, if they don't have the best quarterback in the conference, he's the second best quarterback in the conference, and the other one's always hurt. So, I do think that somebody like Coach Prime though could, if they were to build that into something, that's somebody that might be able to help you carry that conference. The way that but now they're getting into talking about all of this private equity stuff, and I mean, from what Cody was saying on the show yesterday, when he came on, that's it, and it feels like that's a done deal. That's kind of a scary thing. You're going to give up 20% of the conference to private equity, or you know, this $1 billion or whatever it is. JJ was like, "Whoa, no," because JJ, of course, is in big money finance stuff too.
Right, he is.
So, he was saying that it's you know, you might as well go ahead and kill the conference now, because that's what you're going to do, and they can even blow up your school.
Bumbo says Dion is NFL at Colorado. He said he doesn't follow his kids. He leads his kids, so he does not have any desire, at least what he's telling us to go.
Yeah, he's only said that he doesn't want to coach in the NFL, that then nobody's going to listen to him. So I don't know that
I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's like, you know, like I don't know if he can pull some, you know, some coaches just are better at the college level, you know what I'm saying? And
I also think that who's going to hire him right now? He hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything at this level to make it look like, you know, I don't really see anybody scrambling to make, hey, we got to go hire Coach Prime. You know, he's killing it.
Big facts. And listen, man, if y'all want more information on the whole conference realignments and all the big money, all field talk and stuff, check out Big 12 Mafia, man. They do a really good job on YouTube. They do a really good job knowing all of that stuff.
Not alone though. It's equity in the company.
So it's a loan at the end of the day, and they'll get their money back. Okay.
I don't know that that's the case there, Shawty.
So Anthony says, hypothetically, if some of the rumors are true that Florida State and Miami are attached at the hip and not Clemson, if they go to the Big Ten, would that push the bottom basement teams in the Big Ten to the group of 5 or the ACC? It all depends on where their overall goal is. If it is a super conference, you know, they're trying to build their conference. But like I know people we look at it, and most fans, I'm not saying all fans, but a lot of fans, we look at it football wise. But some teams are just ingrained in, and this is what I was telling them. Like I say, on my first time on Jason's Sport, they's like, well, we're better than Vandy. I'm like, but Vandy's already in the SEC. So those bottom feeders in the Big Ten that you're talking about, they're already there. Like Rutgers is already there. I don't know if they're pushing Rutgers out. You know what I'm saying? Because their big thing is the whole, you know, academic standard and things of that nature. I don't know if they're pushing Rutgers out, you know.
That's the other thing too, is that to me right now, and I was saying this to Cody yesterday too, I don't really see the SEC has not shown any inkling to want to expand anymore right now. This is not something that's happening tomorrow, or really, I think that the earliest it's going to happen for the SEC, their media deal comes up in, like, I think it'd be 2031 is the last year or something like that, or 2030, whatever it is, but it wouldn't be until then that they renew anything or change anything like that, or as they lead up to that. But to me, I don't feel like this is something that anybody in the SEC really wants, and I don't think they want to kick out Vanderbilt either, to be honest.
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. They're already there. That's the difference in trying to get to a conference and already being there. They're historic. They're already there. Northwestern and Rutgers are already there. So I don't think that's the case, man. Listen, man, it's been a fun ride on the first episode, man, of Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I. We appreciate Jason from Hall of Fame College Football for stopping by. We appreciate all our commenters and viewers, even if you didn't get in, man. We'll be back on Thursday, same time, same channel, man. Listen, y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Then you don't have to worry about when I'm going to be on. It'll just notify you when I'm going to be on. You know what I'm saying? If you into this kind of thing, the dogs will be taking stage tonight, live stream, Respect the Hedges. I got Shawty, JV, CA, E-Rob, Cool Cal. We'll all be there. First Lady, you know what I'm saying, Hina, and our respected head photographer, Caitlin Hill. Listen, man, y'all make sure y'all tap in, man. If you want to support the show, buy us a coffee, man. Buy me at buymeacoffee.com/fanatic, man. We appreciate all of y'all for being here. Jason, before we get out of here, man, tell the people where they can find you, man.
Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach. We go live about 30 minutes after Coach I tonight as well for our weekly nighttime show at it's at obviously 8:30 Eastern time. So yeah, jump in there and catch us. Make sure you get over there and check out Coach I, man. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, get in there, help him support the coffee, get him a coffee, do whatever. But got to make sure, hey, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff together with Coach I and Shawty and First Lady, everybody. We got some plans for this upcoming season. So I'm excited about all this. Glad to see you starting this morning stuff, man. It's I think it's a good time to do it. You get a lot of people in here watching the show, so it's good stuff, man.
Big facts, man. Big facts. Well, again, we appreciate you for jumping on, man. Listen, man, again, Thursday, 10 o'clock a.m., we be live again, Breakfast Tailgate with Coach I. You never know who's going to stop by. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, man. We appreciate all y'all. We're out of here.